Okay, let me tell you about interlanguage. What is interlanguage? Interlanguage is a language process produced when people in the middle of studying second language. The process of interlanguage can be defined as the language that is located between the mother tongue, first language, and the target language being studied. Interlanguage, which evolved from the theory of contrastive analysis and error analysis, match the acquisition of a second language. This is about understanding the types of student international language production. Learners who are not producers of target language are imperfect, full of mistakes, but as intelligent and creative beings, they continue through the acquisition place that is logical, systematic, and creative to adapt the linguistic environment as they face their form and function in the meaningful context. It seems that this intermediate intermediate language theory is more acceptable because it focus on the cognitive and social process of student. Okay, that is about the definition about interlanguage, and now about the example of interlanguage. Interlanguage is dynamic and permeable. First, the may say, I know swimming, which other becomes, and I don't swimming, until it reaches perfection. I don't swim. The constant extension and revision of rule reflect else in tendency to change. Else rule are not fixed, they are already deleted or added. And the second interlanguage is systematic. Receive money. I bought a new car and I sold it. It means that the rules are set in predictable ways. And the third interlanguage is variable, that the grammatical correct sentence. They may say, I don't drink coffee. In a spontaneous conversation, the same meaning can be expressed as I know drink coffee, like that. This is the example of interlanguage that I can and I give to you guys. Okay, for the next theory is behaviorism learning theory. According to this theory, language learning is any other kind of learning in that involves habit information. Habits are formed when learners respond to stimuli in the environment and subsequently have their response reinforced so that they are remembered. Thus, a habit is a stimulus response connection. And the next, it should be clear that behaviorist accounts of second language acquisition emphasize only what can be directly observed and ignore goes to what goes to in the black box of the learner mind. Behaviorism cannot adequately account for second language acquisition. In short, learning is not just a response to external stimuli. For example, the learner may hear the sentence, give me a pencil, by being given a pencil. They wanted one. The put to the learner and learner's output use themselves and thereby be rewarded by achieving their communication goals. Okay, for the next mentalist theory of language learning. Major shift in thinking in psychology and linguistics. The researcher switched their attention from the rule of nature of that of nature. Nature, how environmental factors shape learning. Nature, how innate properties of the human mind shape learning. A mentalist theory of language learning, the obvious inequities of behaviorist explanation of language, second language acquisition led researchers to look toward an alternative, the theoretical framework. They did not have to look very far as the 1960 witnessed a major shift in thinking in psychology and linguistics. Okay, for the next computational model of second language acquisition. Second language acquisition, sometimes called second language learning or referred to as second language process by which people learn a second language. It refers to any language learned in addition to a person's first language. Second language acquisition refers to what learner do. It does not refer to practice in language teaching. In the process of development, the acquisition of second language can be divided into five stages: pre-production, initial production, early speaking, fluent, and proficient. Proficient. Yes. The concept of interlanguage can be viewed as a metaphor of how second acquisition takes place, for parts of it are attended to and taken into short-term memory. They are referred to as intake. Second, some intake is stored in long-term memory as second language knowledge. Okay, the next is the last slide. The process creating intake and second language occur within the black box of the learner mind, where the learner interlanguage is contracts. Second language is used by learner producing written and spoken output. The learner exposed to input which is processed into two parts: intake and second knowledge. And the first intake parts of it are attended to and taken into short-term memory. And the second knowledge, some of the intake is stored in long-term memory. Okay, thank you. And this is my assignment. My my assignment for fulfill my final exam. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for watching.